Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nova Shara binti Muhammad Safari. My matrix number is 265053. Today I will be your trainer for this food handler training program. First of all, I would like to introduce the content of this training program, which is divided into 4 sections. For the section 1, we have lesson 1 and lesson 2, and for the section 2, we have lesson 3, which is food cleanliness, and for the section 3, we have lesson number 4, which is food safety, and for the last section, which is section 4, we have lesson number 5, which is the critical factor in food poisoning. So for the introduction, I will give you the course requirement, which is we have the certificate recognition by the Ministry of Health Malaysia, and also the fees only cost RM50 per person and per session, and the duration is for 7 hours. We also have the many of expert trainers to conduct this training program, and the maximum capacity for this food handler training program is only for 25 participants per session. So next we'll move to the legislative power, which we as a food handler should comply to the Food Act 1983 and also Food Hygiene Regulations 2009 under section 30 subsection 1, which all the food handlers should undergo a training program which to get a certificate of food handler training program from any institution specified by a director. If the food handler fail to attend the food handler training program, they are liable to a fine which is not exceeding 10,000 ringgit or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. The purpose of rules and regulation made in the food handler, which is to protect many people from health hazards or health disease and fraud during preparation, sale and distribution. Other than that, the Food Act 1983 and also the Food Hygiene Regulation 2009 can be as a reference and a revision for the food handler and not to burden them in handling the food. So next we will see the cycle in food handling, which is first we start with the good agriculture practice, which produce the livestock product and resources such as vegetables or other plants, and then we need to processing and storekeeping or storage, and then distribute before we have to cook and handling the food, and then we have to serve to the customers. So next we'll move to the lesson number 2, which is the importance of food hygiene. So in this practice we need to know the sign of food poisoning, which is first can be occurred such as stomachache, second is diarrhea, and third is vomiting. So these three cases can be caused by the dirty premises or can be caused by the food contaminants. So as we can see in the slide from the newspaper cutting, we can see the blacklist for the dirty canteen school. So here we go for the section number 2. We have the lesson number 3, which is the food cleanliness. So in this section, all of you can have the knowledge on the food cleanliness and also know the do's and don'ts for the food handler. So based on the picture that you can see on the slide, you can know that the food handler should go for the medical checkup if they feeling not well and feel sick. Other than that, we have to have anti-typhoid vaccine. As a food handler, it is compulsory to have this type of vaccine. Furthermore, we have to have shower before we handle food to feel clean and hygiene, and also to feel refreshed after to handle the food later. So in addition, we need to have the short and clean nails while handling the food later. Other than that, we need to use hat and clean apron and also gloves while handling the food. Also use the waterproof plaster if you are injured or have cuts at your fingers. Okay, so as we can see in the slide that the food handler should not come to work when they are feeling not well and feeling sick. Please go for medical checkup or go for the doctor to get your sick leave and then give to your manager, because if you come to work when you are sick, it is worried that you might transfer or spread the virus that you have to other employees and also to the food. Okay, and then if you are injured, please use the waterproof plaster to cover the injured part, because it is worried if you use no waterproof plaster that the blood will be sprayed to the food and the food will be given to the customers later. So and next, please do not wear any accessories. For the women, please do not wear pin or needle, because it is worried when you are prepared the food and when we are preparing the food, it is worried that your pin might be dropped into the food. Okay, so please do not color your nails, because when you color your nails, it is inappropriate. Okay, for the next figure, we can see that the man did not wearing the head cover and did not cover the hair properly. They also wear the dirty apron, which is we have to look for clean. Here's the bad habit of food handler, which is we can see they are taste the food by using hand, which is it is not proper at all. And do not smoking while you are handling your food, which is to serve to the customers. And do not scratch your head or hair and then you touch the food by using your hand. It is not appropriate at all. And don't scratching your nose, and please do not cough in front of the food. Okay, good habit for food handler, which is using the glove while preparing the food for the customers, and then wash every equipment in the sink, which is it is so neat and proper. And use serving tongs. Okay, serving tongs is like this. Okay, this is the example of serving tongs to get your food from the plate. Okay, it is proper than using your hand without glove. And then wash hands regularly to when you are after preparing food and also before preparing the food. Okay, so we have arrived to the section number 3, which is the lesson number 4 on the food safety. So here we go. We'll go through the factors that contribute to the pathogen growth, which is first food itself, and acidity, temperature, time, oxygen, and also moisture. This the what we call the short name for this term is FATOM. Okay, remember this. So here we need to know that the temperature of food storage, which is it is good at the room temperature between 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. So the importance of a warmer maintains the temperature of food above 60 degrees Celsius, where food is to be served hot, and the different appliances for the food of swine origin and food of non-swine origin. This is a very important part for all of you to know about the food storage, because you are handling the food every day. So for the raw and wet materials, we need to store it or keep it in the refrigerator or freezer. For the frozen product, we have to keep it in the freezer, which is the above part of the refrigerator. And for the normal such as vegetables, fruits, or others, we have to store it in the below of the refrigerator. Okay, so next, for the dry materials, we have to put it in the container with a cover such as this. Okay, or if you don't have the cover, you can use the wrapping paper like this. So here we are in the last section, which is section 4, lesson number 5, which is the critical factor in food poisoning. So let's go. Critical factor in food poisoning, which is first direct touch with the food. This is usually occur among the food handler, which they are usually touch the food without washing their hand, which can cause the food poisoning to the customers. So other than that, the cross pollution. Please remember, when we are cook or handling our food, we need to stay away from the chemical product, because the chemical product will affect to our food and spread the chemical substances to the food towards the food preparation. Okay, and then the food preparation are too early. This is not good, because when you are cook for lunch but you cook at 3 a.m., which is not suitable at all, and then the food quality is not good and excellent, and then it cannot be served to the customer. Please remember that. Of creativity in this video recording for this food handler training program include the picture, animation, transition, and also video recording itself. So the picture is to attract the participants and catching their eyes to get along during the training program, and the animation is to make the training program more attractive and interesting. The transition is to differentiate between one content to another. So lastly, the video recording is to explain on the detail about the food handler training program. Challenges during this training program include the noise pollution, because of this training program need to be done at home and during online session by using the video recording. And then that the time taken because of the noise pollution, the internet access, so it is affecting the time taken to finish this training program by using recording video. So lastly, the internet access, which is due to the low coverage of internet access, so it is quite difficult to search for the information to gain the deeper understanding in this food handler training program. That's all for this food handler training program. So I hope that all of you got the knowledge and will practice this knowledge and skills to your workplace. Okay, thank you for having me as your trainer.